For I am merely a beggar in tatters at your pearly gates. At your pearly gates. Thank you.
How wonderful.
So thank you very much. And now I shall be introducing the very lovely Sonali Patnaik, who is also the birthday girl today. So humming happy birthday to you and lots of joy. Let me introduce this really wonderful human being. Sonali Patnaik is a poet and educator, academic and artist. She has taught literature in English for more than 12 years to students of Delhi University, Mumbai University, and SNDT University. Sonali has a PhD in literature and is currently on the board of studies in English at St. Xavier's College, Ahmedabad. She was formerly assistant professor in English at Delhi University's Kirori-Mal College. She is mostly a self-taught artist and began writing poetry when she was just 12. She is the recipient of the Orange Flower Award for Poetry in English 2022 and is a believer and practitioner of the philosophy of unschooling. A warm welcome, Sonali, and let's have you present.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Lily. Thank you very, very much for this heartfelt, warm, beautiful welcome. I mean, what better way to spend one's birthday than amongst, poets and fellow beings really in every way. Age doesn't matter. So I'm so happy to be here. Paramita, special congratulations to you. I'm really, really looking forward to reading your book as well.
And I'm very grateful to you because you gave time on your birthday, your precious time. I'm very, very grateful. Thank you, Sonali.
My absolute pleasure. Okay, so I will not take too much time. I have a poem that I do want to read, and we were talking about joy and happiness. And unfortunately, a lot of my poetry is full of rage. It's a good kind of rage, a revolutionary kind of rage that brings about change, that asks questions. So somehow, when I heard about Paramita's event, this is the poem that spoke to me about wanting to share here with you. So it will need a little bit of your attention. I hope that that's not too much to ask. So I'm reading from, this is a poem from my book, When the Flowers Begin to Speak, and it's called Asking of the Five. It's mythological, but it is also contemporary, because that's what myths do, I believe. They also ask contemporary questions. Right? Whom did you lose first, yourself or me? Draupadi from Sabha Parva of the Mahabharata. How dare you claim you love me when yourself you thus loathe? Was it me or yourself you first lost? How dare you divide me when you alone I chose? Divided always from your true self, acting upon another's bidding. How was I to know that the one I thought belongs to me, whose arrow not only lands on the eye of the fish, but upon his own, belongs not even to himself? Dividing I from you, did you not realize that othering yourself is losing self-rule? And you, the mighty one, who rage with fury when, what were you when all your brawny strength obeyed the elder's choice of silence? Where stood your words of prowess and love as I, your lover, was before you abused till my own powers summoned my own rescue? As I cried, you, a Sisyphean boulder of mighty silence, stood. You speak of dipping your hands in the enemy's blood, but what revenge, what fury will wash that blood that your hands already wear the color of? Can fresh blood clean blood already drawn? You, the truthful one, the one who threw the dice against chance as though the universe was a game, a dance, knowing that there are only so many odds that last. You who believed you were a true king, loyal to kin, your opponents, you were playing by the fairest of rules, knowing full well that you were playing with my life, my body, and my dignity here, and that you have the right to say enough. You went on. Who did you pawn first? Your truth or you? There is nothing fair nor just about the destruction you gambled, no martyrdom in wearing the white veil of victimhood just at the moment I hold you culpable. You speak of the truth as though truth of my violation is beyond the realm of cognizance. Who are you when you gamble your soul? Who are you to me lose when you are yourself no longer? Will truth not stoop to answer this riddle? Now, both of you, divine and double, I turn to you. Twin husbands, handed to me by fate or law or whim, I know not. How did I not know then that I was only a pawn in this double dealing plot, taking your revenge theatrics for a performance of love? But how was I to know that your glorious doubleness also meant two-faced in trust? Twice is the trauma of being watched by you as I was mercilessly disrobed, manhandled by power and lust. You, the one I chose, the beautiful one, that arrow you shot that pierced the fish's eye, don't you remember? In the reflection danced my face too. Choosing you was self choice. How came so many others to participate in our betrothal when I alone won you? Is only a woman's self common? What sets you apart? What in you ever so uncommon? Most men will blindly follow the fraternal code. I thought perhaps you were different. Was it blindness then that sent the arrow? When your mother said, divide what you have won, and you obeyed as though you had never learned the art of conversation, did you see the I or the nothingness in that command as a blind spot? But see, I was not of your self subjugation the only victim, for so many would die for naught. I soon learned you shoot not only for love. You were always taking statements as unquestionable truths. You who would never talk back to commands, I have no commands but a thought this day for you. Even if, like a good tragedy, all too late, lover of choice, you listen to so many, now listen to this too. What if you only asked questions of your own soul, the soul that would not hurt its own, the soul that knew that there was out there a better huntsman who, because glory in this land is reserved by birth, for you gave up his glorious thumb. If you would listen to your lithe body's words, where archer and dancer meet in a trance, in whom man and woman are but one, you need no guy's charioteer to see into the eye of truth. If you had not bartered your soul, dear one, I would no longer have to ask, when you say you lost me, is it me or yourself you lost first?
Wow.
Thank
That
you.
was amazing. And it was truly women empowered speaking, and the rock was palpable and it spoke for all of us. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Enjoy your birthday. Go ahead and have fun, girl.
Thank you.
Love
Thank
you.
you so much.
We all
And
love
many
you.
congratulations to all of you and to Paramita especially.
Thank you so much, Sonali. What a wonderful poem.
Thank
You made the day for everybody. Lovely.
All right, Smitha, if you can hear me, should I be going ahead or are you going to be saying something? I don't think she's there. So let me be presenting my poems before I introduce all the other lovely ladies here. So this is titled, It Would Be Good. So these two poems are interconnected and they are, of course, about life. And we are at that stage in our lives where we talk about life more than we live it, I think, at times. So alive on the edge of a precipice, alive on the edge of a precipice, dunking in drowsy drudges, opening up a plethora of bargains made with life. Will you let me swim against the tide, dear life, or wade through the slush and murk with sturdy strides and tireless feet? It would be good to know about the feelings of the serene lotus, blooming amidst the weed-infested cauldron of the pond, the pink passion of its silent, meditative poise, blossoming in exquisite petals that reveal perfect pose. It would be good to be the hoopoe bird for a day, to see the humility in its bent forehead, pecking from the ground regally with its resplendent crown of feathers, going about its business in preoccupied obliviousness, making untraditional nests in hollows of trees. It flights like a butterfly, bathing in the sun and sand. It would be good to be a human in the humane sense, willing to worship the place where we are placed, accepting of the situation in all of its glory, shimmering in the cool divinity of moonbeams, inhaling the essence of life with each blessed breath, fragrant with the lotions of sandalwood scents. Yes, thank you. And this is a kind of morbid one, which I wrote just a few days ago. If you will forgive me the morbidity and just, think of it as one of the things we poets do, right? Paramita, coming out to you, it's something called With a Tongue in the Cheek. Will you be there for my funeral? You with the lavish compliments and oaths of undying loyalty. You with your groveling and gloating and heart laid on a silver platter. Perhaps you might stop by to see my ashen, pale cheek and the lonely dried up tear that simply couldn't slip down the hollows. The one who definitely wouldn't come would be the beggar woman I ignored at the signal yesterday, and the man who was ticked off for stalking. The lady who wished I burnt in hell for she hated my guts and envied some locks of hair. And the newspaper boy I wished every dawn would come and ask the worthy colonel, my husband, how I had died. And so would the house help who shared her woes with me. Her sorrow would pour out in chaste Punjabi, as she would say, some good colloquial things for me. After all, once in the kitchen, we were both women after all, chatting about our kids and mothers-in-law. Some childhood friends I cherish would come to weep, I know, and talk about my lively antics as a child. One friend would repeat again and again, oh, she never said a bad word about anyone. Another would say, she should have gone for a walk each morning. I kept telling her. The army friends made in each station, preserved over a huge portion of life, would come too, perhaps on the Sunday bhog in the Sikh ceremony. Funerals are such morose things after all. It's an awfully sweaty day too today. There's still some more to write, maybe some other day, if I'm still alive. If I'm still alive. So ladies, that was, I think, my presentation because we kind of should wind up soon. And I'm going to be introducing Nisha and Dobromir. Let me go ahead and do that right now. Okay, let me find where I've written her. Yes. Welcoming the very charming, the very, very lovely Nisha Jamwal. Our guest of honor today, award-winning interior designer, columnist, brand consultant, crafts crusader, blogger. Entering the world of poetry, Nisha Jamwal wears many creative hats with aplomb. She's a columnist with Asian Age, BBC Good Homes, Gracia, Femina, Midday, The Official, Business India, a motivational speaker and the board member of educational institutions as a mentor. She's an astute brand consultant and strategist, an award-winning interior architect. She's a designer of apartments, Jaipur Airport Lounge, and a restaurant. She has diversified into fashion now and owns an eponymous fashion label. She's also an art consultant and crafts activist working to save traditional Indian crafts, and has authored 3 books on the subject, while orchestrating auctions to help save the dying crafts of our country from becoming extinct. A warm welcome, Nisha Jamwal. And Nisha will be, reciting for us much later after the launch. And I also go ahead to welcome Dobromir Batinkov. Dobromir, thank you for coming to us from so far away.
Yes,
you're welcome. You are a Bulgarian philologist specializing in translation of literature and the subtitling of films. Oh boy. He is among the leading experts on the history of the Romani people and their Indian origin in particular. His project for a documentary called Indo-Roma is actively trying to raise funds worldwide. Dobromir is an esteemed translator of poetry by Bulgarian Roma. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for that wonderful foreword, Dobromir.
Thank you. Thank you. It was, yes, go on.
No, go ahead.
Okay. It was the research that we started, many people in Bulgaria and all over Europe, about the history of Roma and the connection to India. The so-called gypsies, or people coming from Egypt, turned out to be people from central and northern India, especially from Punjab and Haryana, and as down as Deccan and close to Mumbai also. So it was my greatest happiness when I was invited by Mr. late Dev Bartlach, an esteemed poet and writer and researcher from India, and Paramita, my dearest Paramita. So I'm so grateful. We visited in October, end of October 2018, at the 12th International Kappa Writers and Poets Festival in Indore.
Yes.
And then, unfortunately, after a series of surgeries, our friend and brother and poet and teacher, they've passed away. So, and then COVID came, and it has been my deepest desire to return back to India, and I do hope that I will be able to raise enough funding and to come over. So I just want to add also one more very important note here in connection with the launch of this wonderful book of poetry by Paramita, Cloud9. Our intention with this and with Kapla and with all the people we met with in India.
Yes. Dobromir, can I just request you that we should go ahead with the launch, and then you are going to be speaking to us. We would love to hear lots of what you have.
I just wanted to say that I am more than happy to be a part of your wonderful community of esteemed, highly spiritual persons and wonderful people. And I'm really happy to be able to write the foreword to this wonderful book.
Great. We are honored.
Thank you for inviting me, and I wanted to thank you for your warm introduction, which needs a little bit of tweaking, so next time I'll send it to you. I wanted to thank Smita Bhaumik, due to whom I'm here today. I want to say very importantly that she has congregated poets, silently and selflessly brought people together. I want to say that she's one of the inspirations due to whom I have moved further in the journey of poetry. And I'm not a startup poet. I've been writing poetry since I was 6 years old.
Wow.
Yes, but I've never shown it, exposed it until I met Smita, who's published a lot of unsung poets. So I think today's congregation should rightfully be dedicated to this lovely woman. And Lily, I don't mean to take time at all, but I do want to congratulate Paramita, who welcomed me without knowing me so warmly and so exuberantly. You are a light, you know, your light comes through Zoom. So I can't wait to hear you read your poetry, you know, because your aura comes through this screen. I also want to welcome and thank Neha Mishra and Urni Bose. Neha, you are the reason I met Smita. I'm really happy to be among all of you, such illustrious poets. The only poet I've been proximate and fond of and known has been Imtiaz Dharkar. And I really love her. She's become a poet laureate of England. Thank you for having me. And until we speak later, you know, congratulations to all of you.
Wonderful. That was so well said.
Thank you, Smita. I'm really happy to be among all of you, such illustrious poets. The only poet I've been proximate and fond of and known has been Imtiaz Dharkar. and I really love her. She's become a poet laureate of England. Thank you for having me. And until we speak later, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you so much, Nish.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, may I request you to go ahead with what we are here for today, to launch the wonderful book, Cloud9. All of you who have your copies, please hold them up and let's launch it and congratulate Paramita Mukherjee. Yes?
Congratulations, Paramita.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
so
A big hand and
Warmest
congratulations.
congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much.
That's a
Wonderful.
lovely image. 3 cheers. Who else has got their books? Please show them up so that it's a proper launch. All of you keep holding it up. Very nice. That is so good.
Obviously, it didn't reach me on time, but I'm looking forward
I'm so
to
sorry.
touching the book.
Okay. And now I'm going to be introducing Gayatri Lakhani Chawla, who will also be, doing her invocation during this period. And let's welcome Gayatri, an award-winning poet, translator, and French teacher from Mumbai. Her poems are featured in the anthology Modern English Poetry by Younger Indians, published by the Sahitya Academy, Yearbook of Indian Poetry in English, and the Kali Project. Her poem won the Commendation Prize at the All India Poetry Competition 2013. She is the author of 2 poetry collections, Invisible Eye and The Empress Accolades. For her poetry include a special mention award in the Architectural Poetry Annual Competition 2020, the Panorama Special Jury Award 2020, and being shortlisted by Asia Pacific writers and translators in collaboration with Jowrock Literary Journal, June 20. And first prize at the New Normal Poetry Competition by Poetry Paradigm and Oxford Bookstore. Her translated Sindhi poem, Safar, won the first prize at the Kavya Comedy International Poetry Award. Gayatri is also the recipient of the Rahi Kadam Inspiration Award 2021, and her co-translators of Sachal Samrat Sufi poetry are part of an upcoming book. A warm welcome. Thank you for being here, Gayatri, and it's time for your invocation during this wonderful, wonderful launch where we have smiling faces. Paramita, you look so happy and so
Thank you. I am very happy. Lily, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Gayatri, go ahead, my dear.
Good evening, friends. It's just lovely to meet all of you all. And congratulations, Paramita, on that very special, your 9th book. And it's congratulations. I'd like to best wishes for the book. And I like to read a Sindhi poem, Safar, and it's called Journey. And I thought we could all resonate. We do resonate with it at all levels. So I'll read it in Sindhi and then the English translation. Safar. Sone jedi usji seema hi kone. Sone jedi usji seema hi kone. Dil ik panchi a aj. Udami udami vyo. Udami udami vyo ajnabi mulk mein. Munji atma Nadim ji tari vaya, bhunna bhunna kareti. Munji atma nadi je tari vaya, bhunna bhunna kareti. Barsat ji rimjim mein. Kakka jera thakkal hath. Kakka jera thakkal hath. Tuttel jiye, zindagi ke chue vatwa. Zindagi ke chue vatwa, ho gungunaye thi. Jadu ke Krishna ji akhani, Jadu ke Krishna ji akhani, Pair halalta, goat de, Nachan pya, ugada pair, Nachan pya, ugada pair. Now the English translation. Journey. Across the limitless horizon of golden sunshine, my heart is a bird today. It flies to a country unknown to me. My soul, like the muddy rivers that flow, it hums to the beat of the glistening rain. My hands, weary, mud crackling, touch the leaves of the tree of life. They sing the enchanted tale of the blue-skinned god. My feet sway for the journey home. They dance, naked and abandoned. Thank you. Lily, are you there?
Smita, I think Lily's lost connectivity.
Yeah.
Like to take over, Smita?
Yes, I think Lily is. Her internet is giving her problems. Smita?
I think Mallika, you can take over and read your poem.
Okay. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and heartiest congratulations to Paramita for her new book. I hope it does very well. I have read some of the poems. They're very beautiful.
Will you be introducing? Hello, can you hear me?
I think Mallika,
Yes.
you can
Yes.
read your.
Okay. I'm confused.
Am I audible? Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and heartiest congratulations to Paramita for her.
Thank you.
So I'll go ahead with my poem, The Third Eye. This is about women power. This is about, am I audible? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. This is about women power, Nari Shakti, since Durga Puja is coming. It's in October, just a month left. So I thought I'd read this about women empowerment, but this is about women who are forced into flesh trade and their emotions. And the poem is about them, about one of such woman. The third eye. Night swims in the pool of her eyes. The lover that never was spreads himself. The dusk of her skin, the doe eyes, those that prompted the poet to call her Krishna Kali. Look up to see the circling blades. The jingling bangles count the moments. The melancholy of Bhairavi trails off. My armlets are falling off. The dream of beloved's home hide behind a cracked mirror. Memories of hopscotch days run along the cash fields. The whistle of the train beckons. Durga sits on the tulip-painted bedsheet, clutching a crisp pink note. The blooming buds of moguras twisted around her plait lie scattered. Her window opens to a dingy lane of worn-out tales. The eyes do not see a sky. The embers of the night's rage faintly color the distant horizon, the third eye. Thank you. And can I read one of Paramita's poem? Is there time? Can I read one of Paramita's poem?
Smita? Where is Smita? I would love to hear. Yeah, please do.
Okay. The poem is Kintsugi, this Japanese art of, this is, joining all the broken pieces together with a thin line of gold, this thing. So she has written, this is a very sensitive poem. And when I read this, I thought I will not miss the chance of reading this to all of you. Let us all put broken pieces together, broken hearts, broken dreams, and broken thoughts. Fix them up with the golden paint of love. Fix them up with memories treasured true. Cherished relationships which have fallen apart. Childhood memories which have faded away. Fill the gap with affection. Let golden emotions fill up life's reflections. Dreams which have not been fulfilled. Love which has not been reciprocated. Let our hearts fulfill such dreams. Kintsugi all broken hearts with love up to the brim. Such a lovely one, Paramita.
Thank you. Thank
Your
you so much.
sensitive and beautiful poem. And this we all need to do. This is a poem of healing, of love.
Thank you.
So I'm
Thank
very
you so
happy
much.
to be able to read it today. Thank you.
so much. Thank you. Smita, are you
Thank you
there?
so much, Mallika. Since we've lost Lily, I wouldn't mind taking over from Lily with her permission, with Smita's permission. Congratulations, Paramita. Lovely to see you holding the book up in front of all of us. I'm still waiting for my physical copy. It's been ordered, it's on the way. But thank you for sending the PDF along because I could get a flavor of the book. And
Thank you so
my
much.
sincere apologies to everybody for the background noise. I couldn't make it back home from work in time. I got caught in the, there was a torrential downpour here in Calcutta. So I got caught and I thought, let's join in from here. Everybody understands. Plus, it's for me, it was more important to be present than to sort of, miss a part of the discussion. So I'm wondering if Paramita, you would like to now talk to us a little bit about the title of the book, about your inspiration, what made you come up with this book at this point in time in your career, and following your thoughts, your observations, your insights, we will move on to a conversation with our invited panelists, starting with Nisha.
Thank you. Thank you, Somrita. It's so lovely to meet you online. We'll soon meet physically as well. So thank you so much. Thanks to all of you. Now, if I can start, that I'm truly on cloud nine today, not only because of my launch, the book launch done by the wonderful organizer, great poet and artist, Smita Bhaumik. I don't have words to thank her enough for bringing all of you wonderful people today in this launch. And I think your coming, each one of your coming here to this launch has touched my heart, and it has given a luck and a touch of beauty to my book, Cloud Nine. So I'm truly, truly on Cloud Nine today. Now, when and a very special thanks to, of course, Dobromir, who is a great friend of mine. He so beautifully wrote the foreword, like how my poems have taken him back to his childhood. So a very special thank you to Dobromir, you.
Thank you.
And you're here again to be in this launch, and I'm very overwhelmed. And I'm also very thankful to my daughter, Sankalpita Mullick. She has joined from her college, from her hostel. So a mother, we have a great bond. Of course, all you mothers, you have a great bond with your daughters. And like what happens, every book of mine, she has to be there with me, I feel it's not complete if Sankalpita is not there when I'm compiling my poems. So as Smita told you so beautifully that this is my 9th book. And I said, I'm really on cloud 9 now. And I named it Cloud 9. And very luckily, when I was compiling this book of mine, Sankalpita was there with me. And it was her holiday. And, she has 2 months holiday in between. And she was there with me when I was compiling this. She wrote a lovely blurb for this book. And if you have seen the book, if you've gone through the PDF as well, I always divide my collection of poems into 5 sections. Since I named it Cloud 9, this time I thought I will compare my poems with different types of clouds. So, I divided the sections into 5 types of clouds. And they were, of course, like cumulus, nimbus, cirrus, stratus, and altocumulus. And Sankalpita and I sat down and we compared the types of poems and the clouds. So it was a lovely memory for me, that day when we were sitting together, mother and daughter. And you can all understand my emotion. She doesn't stay with me. She's my only child and she's away in a hostel. So it's wonderful when she helps me to compile something. Her memory, that beautiful memory of her, being with me and compiling all my poems becomes a lovely, lovely, lovely memory for me, lovely thing which helps me, and I feel that touch is always needed. So, and if you ask me which section I like most, I like several poems in this book of mine, but I loved the section Alto Cumulus. I'll just describe what is alto cumulus clouds. Alto cumulus clouds, they are called social clouds. So here we are all social people interacting with each other so beautifully. And when I knew that alto cumulus is called social clouds, so then I compared such poems where, they are gathering of people or people together or some community oriented poems in this section. And I just wrote, comparing these clouds to my poems, I say, man is a social animal, and so are these clouds, because they are called social clouds. So this section is all about the expression of community as a pillar of human existence. So here I just told you a little about Cloud 9. And if you give me 2 more minutes, Smita, can I read a poem of mine? Smita?
Go ahead, Paramita, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
We'd love to hear you read.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. A very personal poem, and as Smita already told you, this book was published in July 2022, and it was my 25th wedding anniversary. And of course, an anniversary with my husband, who's also my best friend. And we are middle-aged people, and we at this middle age, we can't show love, like, we don't hug or kiss or anything. So I wrote this poem. I was just thinking about the love between my husband and myself, and I wrote this, a plate of resins. Two middle-aged people, a man and his wife, have never expressed love, but are each other's life. No hugs, then kisses to follow. No sweet love talks to wallow. But they've been together in sunshine and rain, been with each other in happiness and pain. They've been together in thick and thin. They together to many places have been. Each evening after work, watching television, different episodes of different missions. Sometimes chirping happily, sometimes having fights. Their love story, no historian will ever write. The man sorts out raisins from his mixture every day to put on the plate of his wife a silent, I love you to say. The wife loves raisins, and so the subtle show, the delicate gesture of love, the wife to know. So this is the kind of love we believe in. And another very different kind of, very different knot of love. Sometimes we poets, we feel lonely. We feel like, like you need to be alone. You need to be, and when you're alone for a long time, you feel a little different. A lone island in the midst of the sea. A lone island in the midst of the sea, only birds, trees, and flowers, no humans for me. Green foliage has covered me all over. Coconut trees, palms, and on the fringe, clover. Standing all alone in the midst of the vastness, no strappings or fittings, to me, to harness. The cerulean beautiful blue sky above, the tall trees in their own treely way showering love. A lone island in the midst of the sea, no ship or boat anchors here to meet me. I wake up listening to melodious bird songs. I don't have to be hurt with human wrongs. Standing alone with water all around, only the fluttering of leaves and no other sound. I get rejuvenated when it rains. I'm far, far away from human squabbles and pains. Thank you. I wake up to melodious birds. I look up.
Thank you so much, Paramita. I'm not sure. Is it just on my end? Do you hear an echo as well?
Yeah,
Yes,
I
there is
am
some
hearing an
disturbance.
echo. Yes, yes. A
In
tiny
fact,
bit.
when I spoke, the whole thing was repeated. I couldn't understand why.
Yes, 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 yes.
I'm most embarrassed by it.
Yes.
Going to be despite 2 years into our Zoom training. I suppose this is something we will have to deal with, struggle with. I am not sure if I'm losing my connection.
If I may, could we ask
Yeah,
every
Shankopita, yes.
Yes, sorry. Hi, if I may, could we ask others to sort of switch off their mic because that tends to create an echo. Also, yeah, I think that would help a little
I
bit.
think that's a great idea. If you're not speaking, it would be really wonderful if you could switch your microphones off. It just helps us with the proceedings. But Chankopita, your hand went up at just the right time, and not only for like Zoom instructions, because we did want you to come in at this point. Also because Paramita mentioned how you were a part of the writing process, how you were with her, obviously not just for this book, but along the way through her life's journey. If you could chip in at this point in time, tell us what this book means to you, how you were involved in the creative process, if at all. Just share your thoughts on the book.
All right, I'll do that. Thank you so much, Dr. Ganguly. I wanted to say that this book is a very unique sort of book because we often have books that are divided along the lines of natural elements, but we don't have we don't compare the natural elements to our daily life. Like in this book, the different parts of the book, cumulus, stratus, nimbus, the type of cloud is compared to an emotion that we feel. Like overcast skies and dark clouds are often compared to feeling low or feeling a little like under the weather, pun intended, or feeling a little overshadowed by something that is overshadowing the joy in your life, while a bright or a fluffy cloud is compared to fluffy happy emotions. And at the same time, there are dark and overcast and clouds that almost bring about rain, that have the silver lining of bringing about rain with them, which is seen as a sign of hope. And as my mother has already mentioned, the final sort of this final segregation or section in the book is that of cumulus, which are clouds that roam around in groups, and it shows how man is inherently a social animal. And I think this comparison of different types of clouds with emotions helps people connect with the title of the book and the thought process behind the book being called Cloud Nine. I think it is also a very meta sort of book because this is her ninth book for it to be called Cloud Nine. Also, if you know my mother, if you read the book, you would understand that this book is a little piece of her, because the poems all speak about positivity, about warmth, about hope in this in the face of adversity, about spirit and endurance. And I think if you know her, you would understand that there's a part of her in this book. And I think the title Cloud Nine is very fitting because she is on cloud nine when she's happy. She's one of those people who's very visibly happy and not secretly happy, or not one of those people who suppresses her happiness. She's very visibly happy. And that is that is something that helps so many people around her embrace their joy and embrace their happiness, especially in darker times, or especially in dangerous times, or especially in times when we don't want to embrace that happiness. Now, to speak about the book a little bit, the first poem, I was reading the book in my hostel again just to refresh my memory. And the first poem sort of made me feel very sad because I barely have time to catch lunch sometimes. So the first poem is about finding someone who's a rainbow in your life. And that is, I think, something that we're all looking for. And that person doesn't necessarily have to be your significant other. It can be your family, it can be your friend, it can be your soulmate, which can really be anybody. It can sometimes be a random person that you meet and really hit it off with. And I call it soulmate for a day, where you meet someone and you have the best time with them, and they bring so much of sunshine and happiness into your life. And Let Me Be a Rainbow in Your Life is exactly that. The first paragraph reads, "Let me be a rainbow in your life, splashing colors of happiness, stopping all quarrels, all strife." And that is what we are all looking for. And this is coincidentally in a section that speaks of happiness and joy and love, a section titled Cumulus. Then there is a poem called Kintsugi, which is about the Japanese art of repairing broken vessels with golden paint. And the whole poem speaks about how, we take the golden paint of love to repair so much that is broken within us, and so many social relationships that break around us every day. And the only way you can repair it is by not replacing it with another form of love, or not replacing it with another person, but you repair it with the golden paint of love. And I think that's beautiful. I think that says a lot about, I also think that says a lot about the consumerist sort of culture that has seeped into our personal lives, where we think that relationships are as interchangeable as objects. And instead, if we follow these ancient arts such as kintsugi, we realize that there is so much more to life than just replacing. Even in the 3 tenets of environmental protection, there's replace, reuse, recycle. What is it? Reuse, recycle, replace, or something of that sort. But the point is that reuse comes first, and you try and you salvage the brokenness instead of shunning it and pretending it doesn't exist. And that is how you heal. And I think that is beautiful. And my mother's already spoken about the poem called The Plate of Raisins, which is something I also wanted to speak about. There is a very famous olive theory purported in millennial and Gen Z pop culture because of certain TV shows. And the theory states that you always find a partner who hates olives, and they find a partner who loves olives. So you can always eat from the same plate, and even if one of the people in the relationship doesn't hate olives, you pretend that you do because it makes the other person happy. And I think that is that sort of a little sacrifice sustains a much happier future, because you're doing these little random acts of kindness to make somebody you love so happy. And I think that is what I wanted to say about the poems in her book. I also wanted to speak about some of the titles. A Lone Island in the Midst of the Sea is in a section called Stratus, which is again about feeling overcast, feeling a little sad, feeling a little overwhelmed. A lone island in the middle of the sea. And of course, this is not about a literal island, although it would be fun if it was. It would be fun if it was one of those games where you're trying to survive on an island. But we are all trying to survive on this lone island. And especially people who live away from their families, I'm sure you'll relate. All of us are trying to create our islands and survive. But what we forget is that survivors have the lowest chance of actually making it through their lives if they're alone on an island. And only the system of ships going in and out of the island, and only the fellow inhabitants of the island help them survive. So I think we should all expand our islands a little more to help us survive in that sense. Also, should I read out a poem? I don't know, I'm feeling a little... only if we have the time, although I don't know if we do.
Yeah,
So
Shankopita, I'm actually wondering if we come back to the readings just a little while later, because I think
perfect.
this was such a great note to also, I think I would organize a whole session where Paramita talks to Shankopita, because you brought in such a sort of beautiful mix of, both the personal, the private, and also the critical. Such a beautiful, in-depth way of reading Paramita's poems. I think we can have a whole session with the two of you conversing with one another. So, Shankopita, we definitely want to hear you read Paramita's poems in the second half of this session, where we have the readings. For now, thank you so much, and I'll take this opportunity to invite Nisha to share her thoughts on this work, but also to read some of her own works to us at this point. Nisha?
Thank you, Shaumita. Thank you so much. I've always used poetry as I think of it as a flight of fancy, as a way to express emotions that probably are nascent and we didn't even know existed. I'm also looking forward to our dear Dr. Paramita Mukherjee to send me a copy so that I could wax eloquent on it, Paramita. I hope I'll have the privilege of seeing your works and being able to speak about them. So, yes, I take this opportunity, Somrita, to read my own poetry. I'm first going to read, these are all my personal experiences, my personal journeys. Paramita, you had walked away. I just wanted to tell you, I'm going to look forward to you sending me your book so that I can speak
Yes,
about
I've heard it. Yes. I'll send it soon. I did hear it. Somebody was knocking the door.
I'm going to read first a little poem, which I normally write in the middle of the night around 2 and 3 in the morning. But I'm going to read a quick, short one. I don't want to bore you all with long ones. This is called Butterflies Are Free. Butterflies are free and so am I, navigating streams and foliage, skimming over the sea, the sunshine and the moons, romancing aligning planets, cool climes, cloudy skies. I'm ebullient in the breezes because butterflies are free. Butterflies are free and so am I. Now and again, the azure seas turn dark. The cloud may loom, deep and thick, I may find enormous sharks. I feel the black looming skies, and there's always a ray of light, the ray that guides and takes me through. A sunbeam glowing deep and true. I may falter, but I find my way always, always meander through. My life may rock and really roll, but I land on my feet, I promise you. I land on my feet and softly still through butterfly bushes, streams, and boughs, because butterflies are free and so am I. All my poems are metaphorical, they are personal, and they are all autobiographical. The other poem I'm going to read again very fast and quickly is, I have to give you a small backdrop of 2 minutes. May I, Soumitra and Dr. Paramita? May I give you a tiny background? So,
Please,
yeah.
Oh, yes,
so,
please. Go ahead, Nisha.
Yeah. So I'm really quick. I don't, carry on and on. So I won't bore you. My story's been written by Lord Jeffrey Archer because it's a unique story. And based on that story, the beginning and the end, the end of a particular chapter of my life, I wrote a poem, which is part of my story. I'm an only child, very much like your daughter, Paramita. And from a loved, beloved, a girl, and to a young woman who was coveted and feted and loved by my beloved husband, I was, thrown slapdash in the middle of a family that was hostile because I was not a princess. And my husband, who belongs to the royal family of Kashmir, a very illustrious, grand man, they felt he could have had a princess. And I was heartbroken and I didn't know what I'd done wrong. Many years later, after my in-laws began to love me and they proceeded to the next world, I was the one who had to sift through their home and through all their things and shut the home. And in the middle of all the debris and the books and the boxes and the trunks, the army trunks, my husband's father was the illustrious General Jamwal, who led Operation Blue Star. Through all this, in this huge 20-bedroom bungalow, nearly like a Haveli, I wrote this poem. And I had to give you this context because you won't understand the poem unless I tell you this story. So here's the poem. It's called Families. Was delightful to see you in all this, whatever the excuse. Families are getting more and more scarce. Families are precious and so much fun. All the confusion, opinions, rituals, and buzz, maddeningly endearing, tugs at my chest. Looking back, I'm scared of the front. I'm remembering the past, insecure of the run. The loss in the silence, I'm missing everyone. Letters, pictures, thoughts, words, images dancing in the blur of my eyes. Is it night? Is it light? Is it now? Is it then? Is it past? Is it about to be? Losing sight of what might be. You never know. You never speak of the ghoul in my heart. I just see it when I'm alone. Letters, pictures, thoughts, words. I'm sorry. Confusion, opinions, rituals, and priests. Bidding farewell, saying goodbye was never easy for me. I just see it when I'm alone. Letters, pictures, thoughts, words, confusions, opinions, rituals, priests. I'm missing my own. Maybe I want them back. Maybe I still hate them. Maybe it's wishful thinking. Maybe I'll never know. Is it the past or is it the present? Maybe they look better in the past. From here, it's all memories. Or was it my imagination from the start? Were they real? Were they ever mine? Did they hate me? They've all gone. Did I ever love them? Maybe I just wanted to be loved after all. I'll never know. I'll never speak of the ghoul in my heart, graveyards consuming me, my thoughts in the dark. Are they here? Have they gone? Is it my imagination? Was it all a dream? Maybe I just wanted to be loved after all. I'll never know. I'll never speak. Letters, pictures, thoughts, words, confusions, opinions, rituals, priests. I'm missing my own. Thank you. I'm sorry. I really thought I won't go through with it. I'm so sorry about it. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for sharing, Nisha. Because I mean, you know, we could all see this, what this means to you, what this still means to you, what it meant to you before, when you must have written it. Thank you for choosing us to share this work with. And
yes,
also
the first time I publicly read this. It's true. It's the first time since I've met Smita that I've actually exposed my poetry. Dom Moraes had published a lot of my poetry in his magazine. It's been published through my yearbook in America and at school. But somehow after that, I've never exposed it. And now with Smita, I am going to publish.
I'm so glad you've chosen to come back again to poetry, which was always a part of you. And yeah, so happy to have you with us here. We shall quickly now move on to the next speaker for this evening, though it looks like a bright sunny day where you are. Dobramir, if you could just tell me what time zone it is there. And obviously, if you would then like to share your thoughts on Paramita's work and also read something from her book or any of your own books, that would be fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. Once again, it is a great pleasure to join you. It is 4 o'clock now, 4:06 here. So we have 2.5 hours difference between daily time zone and where I live. My country, Bulgaria, is in the middle of the Balkan Peninsula. which has Turkey, the European part of Turkey, and Greece on the south, Serbia on the west, and Romania and Ukraine on the north. So we are the first country into the European Union coming from India for you. And we also have a very old and interesting history. You know, it was maybe the country with the oldest name in Europe. So anyway, it has always been very important for all Bulgarians to have a connection with India. Somehow, since we come from a very old people, we have a long and very old spiritual connection. For instance, Rabindranath Tagore came to Bulgaria twice, and most of his portraits were actually written by a Bulgarian artist accompanying him on the way back to India. So I cannot read any of the poems because I love them all, but I can say that Cyrus is my favorite part of the book, and my favorite poem is I don't know what is the proper way to read it. Paramita, can you help me? Sayaramve? Is it?
Dobromir, please come again. Sorry.
So the what is the proper way to pronounce the Sayaramve? The poem on page 56. It is called F-E-R-N. It's spelled F-E-R-N W-E-H.
Sorry. I got.
Well,
Dobromir, I'll request you to read the foreword. Dobromir, will you please read your foreword? It's so touching. It's so touching.
I told you, yes, I know.
Sorry, you don't have it. Yes.
I don't have the book in my.
Yes.
I have been taking care of old people and sick people. I have been having very sad times with departing from people from our life and so on.
And I'm so grateful that you could come.
Yes, I'm happy to be a part of this session now, but I don't feel like I'm feeling well so that I can read the poems. Maybe I can ask you to read one of your poems because you will definitely read it better than me. That was my question on page 56. If you could read it for me, that will be my my real joy.
Which page, Dobromir? Which page?
56.
Which page?
I think it's page 56.
Yes.
5-6, yeah, 5-6. Oh.
And thank you. And
Fernway, yes.
Fernway, yeah. What is the word? Is it
the meaning is craving for travel. It's craving for travel.
Yes. I checked it especially
I'll just read it then.
Yes. Thank you. And greetings to all from me.
Thank you, Dobromir. I crave for travel now and again, spreading my wings to happiness attain, journeying to places I've never been, enjoying and wallowing in the new scene, encircling and encompassing the wonderful view, like a majestic eagle from the sky blue. I go round and round in a circle, cherishing the moments, making them eternal, treasuring the unknown beauty in my heart, while swirling and twirling in my colorful skirt. This journey to the unseen is one of a kind. There is no limit to this travel, as it's the travel of my mind. And Dobromir, if you allow me, I will just read a tiny little part of your foreword, the end part of your foreword.
Thank you.
Where you write, the sections of the book are named after various clouds. Cloud 9 will change your way of looking at the sky. Every time you look at the clouds, you will go back to Paramita's poems. The marvelous sketches by the poet herself fit so perfectly with the message of love and serenity. I felt like I was immersing into the dream world of the little prince. The delicate selection of words and phrases is like gentle music accompanied by the flap of the wings of hummingbirds. My childhood was full of fairy tales from all parts of the world. The little boy back then imagined the place and people from India and wondered if he would ever touch that reality. Thank you, Paramita, for taking me there again.
Thank you. Thank you for reading it so nicely. Thank you.
So this was very overwhelming. Thank you, Dr. Mir.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mir. Thank you, Paramita, for also sharing. That's, I was trying to coax Dr. Mir to move in that direction. But, whether it's from you or from him, we now have the words because I thought they were so beautifully written. They were poetry in themselves. Thanks a lot. We shall now, as things go in life, we shall move in circles and we shall go back to the lady who helped us with an invocation earlier. And I would now request her to read something of her own once again. Gayatri, if you're still here with us. I'm sorry, I can't see everyone on my screen. Yes, Gayatri is here. Yes, Gayatri, go ahead.
So I like to just say that, Paramita has this very contagious enthusiasm. When you're around her, she has that energy, and she writes a lot of positive, and I have a lot of dark poems, so I'm trying to really look for happy themes. But yes, she has a lovely vibe. I must say that. So I'm going to start with this is a poem on healing. It's called Winter. Bury the ashes of your broken heart in a cordra rose plant. Dig the soil with both your hands. Let the tears flow right through. They say it's a dark moon ritual, cutting the cord from the source. Sometimes there's no other way to closure but healing the wound within. And in the end, when you sit up and notice, all the pain sweetens the air like the morning bird song. Thank you. Should I go ahead with another one only?
Yes, definitely, Gayatri. We have time for another one.
This is called The Universe in Us. Did you know human souls survive in trees? Every time someone dies, the body decomposes, disintegrates into a grayish heap of ash that gets carried away by the wind into the choppy waters of the sea. The soul, on the other hand, rises like a phoenix from the ashes, fleeting in a soft divine-like music, the sound of tinkling cowbells, the whistling of a baby dolphin, kneading its way into a giant oak tree, perhaps. Look at its leaves vein-like, just like that of a human hand, breathing and swallowing the warm sunlight, sieved through a bough of a tree. What do these branches seek? Looking at the skies open-mouthed, gaping at the universe that roots them to Mother Universe. Imagine they are weightless, dense souls of children holding hands, encircling the trunk of a past that's gone by, saving the last flickering of a fire spark, the last drop of water on a vagrant leaf, the soft scales of the last butterfly wings, chant the dervish's song, worship the water god Julelal. Alas, the she reaps what we sow. The curse of the wicked man is eaten by the fiend himself. Thank you. Should I read a translation, Unni?
Hi, Gayatri. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so this is actually their English co-translations of Sindhi Sufi poet Sachal Sarmas. He's an 18th century poet, and all his poetry is about seeking the divine. And he uses a lot of folk tales and a lot of spiritual allegories in his poetry. So here goes. Do you know lovers never die? They do not return to the abode of the body. They become insane and love drinking the goblet brimming over. Lovers live forever, immortal, warring with the world. They lose themselves in themselves with wounds on their neck, their voice is lost. They speak of nothing but dwell in Allah. Years pass by, reading in a sequence. Fasts were kept, namaz was prayed. Those who are lost in themselves are unnerved by the trivial talks that reside outside them. They made a house abroad, not once spending a moment of time. Oh, these lovers can seek the truth only dwelling in the desert. Every moment and every breath is an ode to the Mehboob. Till the end, there is glory in it. Sachu unearthed the truth. God had showered him with eternal knowledge. O two-winged feathered creature, did you give all my messages to my beloved? And how I live in despair without him. In a mansion so immense, I am desolate without you. Imprisoned by fate, my thoughts advance to Allah. Rice or sweet churma, new food items come my way every day. My eyes glance at the country roads. Reminiscing you, my eyes fill up with tears. I drink the poisonous chalice of love, filled to the brim. Without you, my sweetheart, do I live or should I die? For the sake of sorrow, I reside in this country. Sachu says that his eyes of the inner soul, memories, revisits as he cries on. Thank you.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Gayatri. Also, thank you for being a part of all our WE events. I remember we first met through a WE event. It was in person in Bombay, and resume those. But until then, very happy to be a part of this ceremony, as it were. We shall now move on to another set of readings by Debarati Sen. Debarati, if you're here and if you would like to read something to us, either your own work or something from Paramita's work, we'd be delighted.
Thank you, Shomita, and thank you, Smita, for having me here today. I have always been completely awed and enamored by Paramita ma'am's beauty, grace, and her poetry. We had met just once on the Lake Town Poetry Festival, and today when I came to know that it's a book launch, I was so excited. So I decided that I had to drop all work on a Saturday evening and be here. So congratulations, Paramita ma'am, once again. And today I will read one poem of mine that was published in the recent issue of the Yudin Quest Review. So thanks to Smita once again for that. So the poem is called I Hide Consonants Under Broken Fingernails. I hide consonants under broken fingernails and deliver a bravura performance. No, you cannot decipher my fatigue. I dress up spectacularly bathed in turmeric yellow, like a wedding ritual. With my metaphoric verses, I paint the sky's tripod extravagantly baroque. Neon-colored changes are strewn across the horizon's bosom, just like my broken nails tinctured with the coral blue nail paint, hiding a million consonants beneath its hue. With pebbles inside my pocket, I relentlessly stare at the ethereal skyline. It looks like a tumbled bottle of exotic petty Shiraz. A new day has come, bearing the fragrance of new hopes. Silently, I sit on my old wooden chair, hoping for the rain to wash this world of its pandemic. Time stands still, like a spring evening that has come empty-handed. I check my nails. It's time for a manicure. But before that, I need to hide my consonants somewhere else. Slowly, I pack them in a metal box and throw them away in the sea of esoterica till my nails grow back again. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Devarti. And I know Smita's unwell, but that is, the beauty of the work that Smita does.
Actually, and it's been such a nice thing to be like with this We Literally community and like reading all such wonderful poems of
Wow.
all you beautiful
I
poets.
think I lost my connection. No, I'm still here. I can see everyone. Sorry, my screen froze for a second. Smita, if you would like to read something to us, I don't think this poetry story would be complete without hearing your voice, but only if you're feeling well enough, because I know how much you've done for us as a poetry community, but also for this event, despite the antibiotics and the effects they've been having on you. So if you're still here, Smita, like to read something to us? I don't think this
Yes,
story would complete.
Yes, Udni,
without hearing your voice, but only if you're feeling well enough.
thank you so
I
much.
know how much you've done for us as a poetry community, but also for this event, the antibiotics. I think there's a bit of an echo, and I'm not sure if it's on my end.
Yes, can you hear me?
Something to us more audible, but
Yes.
very
Okay,
clear.
so before I do that, Urni, I would love you to read, okay? Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
There's a lot of echo.
There's an echo. So I think others should be asked to switch off their mics, or you can check on that.
Okay, Urni, I will definitely. Okay, now I have the pleasure of.
I'm just going to try this again, and it's quite possibly a problem on my part. If anybody else could chip in.
Is it better now? Is it better now? Is it better?
We can hear your voice, Smita.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, yes.
Great. So now
Yes.
I would love for Urni to read first. Our dear, fabulous Shomrita Urni Ganguly. So I invite you to read. Urni, there's no one like you as a moderator, and love you for doing this. So before you come on, let me give a very short introduction. Okay. So now.
Smita, we can't hear you.
Writing Summer School. Shomrita served as a judge for the 2021 PEN America Translation Prize and is currently head of the Department of English, Maharaja Manendra Chandra College, University of Calcutta. Shomrita is the editor of the anthology of poems, Quesadilla and Other Adventures 2019.
Gayatri, can you hear Smita?
No, I can't. I can hear you, but I can't hear Smita.
Yeah, I can't hear Smita. We can't hear Smita. Smita, are you there?
Urni, are you
I think
there?
there's a problem with Smita's connection. The connectivity seems to be lost in a long
Yes.
time.
Urni, are you there? I think in the meantime, Paramita, why don't you read your poem?
Can I request my daughter to read a poem of mine?
Oh, of course.
Sankalpita?
Hello.
Yeah.
Which poem of yours should I read?
Anyone you like. Wait, we can see Smita on the screen, but Smita, we can't hear you.
Sorry.
Urni? 1 second, Sankalpita, sorry.
No issues.
Urni, are you there?
Now?
Yes, Smita.
Yes,
we
you're
can hear
audible.
you. Yes, you're audible now.
Now? Okay, so
Yes.
what's happening is when I'm reading out, it's, it's on the same device, so it's breaking off.
Are you on 2 devices, Smita? Yes.
I think so. I think students logged in through a couple of devices, and I think my internet went off for a few seconds there, and I lost everyone. But sometimes technology is so beyond all of us. Like you could practice a million Zoom sessions, and there'll still be something on the day of that'll, Okay, I mean, it's all right. Smita can join us when she's able to.
We can listen to your poetry.
Why don't we?
Urni, let's listen to your poetry now.
Mine?
Yes, I'll go after. Oh, I'll go after Dr. Sumitra then.
Yeah.
Okay. Sort of a little caught off guard here, but give me just a second as I draw this one out. Maybe this one. It's something that was published, in an anthology that was edited by 2 of my friends, 2 friends of people that write poetry in English in India, Paresh Tiwari and Srividya Sivakumar. So this one's called Paris 1968. And it starts with a couple of lines from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. Aimer, ce n'est pas se regarder l'autre, c'est regarder ensemble dans la même direction. No, not as far back as the Victorian times. Their morality would make no room for you and me, us. Not the Renaissance either. They hunted down women like me back then to burn at the stake. Can we not return to the Paris of 1968? La ville de la rébellion et des Béziers. Busy cafes, talks of espresso, the sun on our skin, my soft chiffon summer dress, cherry lips, dark glasses. Your white shirt open at the chest in a garter belt, our ink-stained fingers playing with pressed peonies, peeping out of leather-bound notebooks, tabloids, glossy French women on covers of naked magazines, a long, thin cigarette resting casually between your fingers, the brazen wind cooling off, the drop of sweat on my neck. People walking past our little table on the sidewalk, laughing, holding hands, kissing, lying on a green park bench under the blue sky, reading, dancing to light jazz rhythm playing on the street. On their lips, hymns of passion. On their bodies, diacritics, of longing. As the summer air carries smells of a brewing revolution and hip flasks of sweet Trevopino de Chahante, a city where our love would demand no reason, a city ruled by the heart and the cock and the cunt and the honesty of desire, a city where we are not old and young, man and girl, woman and boy, man and man, girl and girl, white or brown, or trapped by any other definition, but simply two people, two bodies on fire, willing to burn. Thank you. And my apologies once again for all of the background noise. If you can see the background, I'm in the stairway. I thought this will be better, but the sound follows wherever we go.
Beautiful poems, beautiful poems.
I think this is a great opportunity for us to once again congratulate Paramita, Dr. Paramita Mukherjee Mullick. We wish you and this book success as we bring this evening to a wrap, but not before we hear Shankalpita read from your book. She'll have the final words today.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so I've selected a poem that I don't know, it resonates with me quite a bit. And I would like to read out one of my poems as well, if that is all right with everybody on the panel. And so for that, I would like to ask, I want to select which poem I read in a very democratic sort of method. One is about nostalgia and home. One is about women empowerment and feminism through mythology. And one is about a sort of Shakespearean comedy kind of poem that is almost my specialty. So whichever you all want, please tell me in the chat box. I'll read that one out. But before that, I will read out my mama's poem. Okay. The poem is Give Me Your Love, and it is the first poem in the section Nimbus. The section Nimbus says that it reflects hope in the form of life-giving rain when dark clouds of uncertainty are looming above. The poem is called Give Me Your Love. A sapling struggled to peep out of the soil. There was dryness all around. The sapling gradually pushed her head out. She was thirsty, but no water was found. The sapling looked at the vast sky. She saw a cloud far, far away. The sapling prayed to the cloud to come closer, to shower her with love and to make her day. "Oh cloud, give me your love," cried the sapling. Her cry of help reached the sky at last. The cloud heard her pleas and rushed to the sapling fast. The sapling was struggling in the parched soil. She pleaded with the cloud to shower her with rain. "Let me bloom, O cloud. Give me your love. There is no water anywhere. I'm searching in vain." The cloud listened to the sapling, then gathered its strength to shower all the love and caring it had in its heart. Rain came down in sheets to give the sapling power. Rain, rain, the beautiful rain, nourished the sapling with care. The sapling looked up at the cloud and smiled. The cloud then floated away for love to share. I think this is a beautiful poem about nourishment and about healing, and I think it also sort of mimics a parent-child relationship in that sense, which is I think why I felt drawn to this poem. Also, it has one of the very pretty sketches made by the author herself, and all of these sketches are interspersed throughout the book, and they're just wonderfully fitting for all the poems that the book has. Also, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but I'm wearing blue to represent clouds, or the closest thing that I have to blue. So which poem are we reading out? Let me check this chat box. Okay, so Gayatri ma'am has said that she wants me to read out the poem about nostalgia. Are there any other opinions, any other thoughts?
Otherwise, yeah, I would echo that too. The one on nostalgia and home, for sure.
All right, I'll read that up. Just a second. All right. The poem's called My Love is Contained in Food. The biryani I ate with my parents doesn't taste the same when served on cold metal mess plates. The rice sticking to the sides and the eggs never quite fried right, and the meat always conspicuously absent. The sweet rice and milk dessert doesn't taste as sweet when there is no one to clink spoons with and no one to finish the last few morsels when you're full so nothing wastes. The milk always tastes like it has curdled when you have no one to mock the way you prefer to eat it, whether you like it with masala or are more of a sweet bent. The chutneys and the achars feel bland without a healthy accompaniment of news channel vichars blaring in the background. The roughness of the carrots mimicking the harshness of my surroundings. The fish is stale and dry when it isn't my grandfather who goes to the fish market at 5 a.m. to pick up only the freshest fish for me amongst the grating market sound. Apple tarts and apple pies you can buy wherever you go, and they may taste like heaven, sugar, and sweetness, but not like love anymore. Because love was contained in the cupcake liners amongst the other tins that are raided by us when they come out of the oven. Love is contained in the street side momos picked by the parents for their hungry, fussy child. Love is found in remembering our daily conversations and small little wins. The mess plates in my college have 5 compartments, and here I am, far away from home, absent mindedly hitting my spoon against all 5. Maybe the food I have here is good, and I just don't know it, because my love is contained in the food that I left at home. That's it. Thank you. And thank you so much,
Thank
Dr.
you so
Somrita, for
much.
your wonderful hosting.
Oh, I mean, this is like a go-to joke by now. Every time we come to these wee soirees, I feel like it's a return to my coven of witches and women, and I do anything to be here, including standing in the stairway in the dark. It is absolutely joyous to be able to meet all of you online for now, hopefully sooner than later in person. Um, I wish your book travels far and wide, Paramita, including, to all of these little poetry addas that we organize in Kolkata. I hope to see you in one of them sooner than later. I would now like to invite Smita, if it is possible for you, if your devices and your health permits, to offer the closing remarks. I have an eye on the time. You're targeting wrapping up by 7:15, and I think you're doing very, very well for that. Smita, are you here? All right. Okay. Is anyone else able to hear Smita or?
Okay, thank you, Uti. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes, now.
Yes, absolutely. You're here now.
Okay, so I'm reading Bliss from Cloud 9. Bliss. Bliss is in your mind. Scream for it, you will never find. Bliss is adapting, adjusting, and embracing change. Okay, thank you, Uti. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, yes,
on, not trying to rearrange. So I'm reading Bliss is cherishing each moment of joy. Bliss is being happy with little things and to enjoy. Bliss is when you reach out to help, placing others before yourself. Bliss is eliminating negative people out of your life, helping people who value you in their lives thrive. Bliss is seeking out good people at every bend. Bliss is living till the very end. Bliss is being happy with little things and to enjoy.
Thank you so much, Smita. I don't know how to thank you with having a viral fever and high fever, everything. You did such a wonderful organizing my book launch and did so much for me. I'm just overwhelmed. And Urmi, your comparing was absolutely par excellence. Urmi, surely
Okay, so what happens is on the
thank
device.
you so much, Smita. I don't know how to thank you.
Not at all. It's a
Viral
pleasure.
fever and high fever, everything. You did such a wonderful organizing my book launch and did so much for me. I'm just overwhelmed. And Urmi, your comparing was.
Let's raise a loud cheer for Urmi, please.
Surely what happens is on the device so much. I don't know how to thank you. Not at all. It's a pleasure.
Three cheers for Urmi.
My book launch. And 3 cheers to Smita. Smita and Urmi. 3 cheers to Smita and 3 cheers to Urmi. And thank you very much.
You get well soon. Smita, really hoping that you get well soon so that we can be back with all our poetry sessions.
Take care. Thank you for everything. Thank you so much. Get well soon.
Smita. We meet again.
Debaruti, you're there?
Yes, I'm there.
Debaruti, would you please read out Urmi's introduction? You have it with you in messages. I've sent it to you in messages.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Thank you for everything. Thank you so much. Get well, Smita. We meet again.
Debaruti, you're there?
Yes, I'm there.
Debaruti,
yes, can you hear me?
Urmi's introduction. You have it with you in messages. I've sent it to you in messages.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything. Thank you so much. Get well, Smita. We meet again.
Debaruti, you're there?
Yes, I'm there.
Yes, Urmi's introduction. You have it with you in messages. I've sent it to you in messages. Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Get well, Smita. We meet again.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce. Introduce Sumrita Onni Ganguly. This is some few words about her. She's an Indian professor, an award-winning poet and literary translator. She was a Fulbright doctoral research fellow at Brown University, USA, and is an adjunct University of East and Angelia's International Literary Translation and Creative Writing Summer School. Sumrita served as the judge for the 2021 PEN America Translation Prize and is currently head of the Department of English, Maharaja Mahendra Chandra College, University of Calcutta. Sumrita is the editor of the first anthology of food poems, Casadella and the Other Adventures, 2019, and has translated 5 songs, 2019, Shakuni, Master of the Game, 2019, and The Midnight Sun, Love Lyrics, and Farewell Songs, 2018, among other works. Sumrita was selected by the National Centre for Writing UK as an emerging translator in 2016. In 2017, she was invited as translator in residence at Cove Park, Scotland, and as poet in residence at Arcs for Circle, Mumbai, and artist residency organized by the US Consulate in Mumbai. Sumrita has been published in Asymptote, Words Without Borders, in Other Words, and Trinity College Dublin, Journal of Literary Translation, fantastic. University of British Columbia's Prism magazine, among others. She has 14 academic publications to her credit and is a recipient of the Jawaharlal Nehru Memorial Fund Award 2030 and the Sarojini Datta Memorial Prize 2011. Her work has been acknowledged with a V glowing diamond accolade from V Literary Community in 2020. Sumrita is one of the judges for the We Poetry Awards.
Oh my goodness.
How wonderful.
This was so entirely unnecessary. I wanted to turn my
Her
video
work
off and disappear. Oh my gosh.
knowing
Thank you so much. Gayatri, thank you to everyone who sat through that.
Sumrita is one of the judges.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Gayatri. That was needed. And 3 cheers to Shomrita. All the very best to Cloud9 and the author, Paramita Mukherjee Mullick.
Thank you.
Over to you, Shomrita.
Hope to see everyone very soon over our next poetry event, and for everyone that's joined us for our live streaming. Thank you for being with us, spending your Saturday evening with us and Paramita's book. We've had an amazing time over the last couple of hours, almost a couple of hours here, clocking 2 hours. And we will see all of you very soon with the results of the We 2021-2022 Poetry Awards. Thank you, Smita, and all the very best to your work, Paramita.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Urmi. Thank you
once more, Paramita. Best wishes.
Gayatri, Ebaroti, everybody. And Smita, a big thank you. Shankar Pita, everybody, a big thank you.
Best wishes, Paramita.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you. Bye. Bye, all of you. A very big thank you to Smita once more. And only God bless you. We'll soon meet.
Soon meet. Bye, Smita. Take care. Get well soon. Bye, Paramita.
Bye, Gayatri. Bye, Dobromir. Bye, Sankalpita.
Bye, Unni.
Thank you, Sankalpita.
Bye, Sankalpita.
Thank
Bye
you
to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Paramita.
Thank you to Dobromir.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us, Dobromir.
God bless you. We'll soon meet.
Yes. See you all. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you once more, Smita. Wonderful. It was wonderful. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Dobromir. Thank you for joining us, Dobromir. Yes. See you all. Thank you so much for being here this evening.
Thank you once more, Smita. Wonderful. It's wonderful. Bye.
See you all. Thank you so much.